Good evening, people. Good evening, people, and welcome back to Arno TV. And as promised, we're back on YouTube, bringing you more videos and streams about the people that we speak about on this channel. Now, you know how I've been telling you all along how all these people are working together, and every single last damn one of these people that we speak about on this channel is working hand in hand with the World Economic Forum. Well, I think it's about time a few people out there had a few sharp reminders about who these vile, despicable, abhorrent people actually are. So let's go over to the internet, people. Let's go over to the internet and let's look at someone else who's working hand in hand with the WEF. So let's go over to the internet, people. Let's go over to the internet. Now, a few years ago, I've shown you this before, okay? But I think it's about time we reminded a few people who these people are. So here we are, another one of these people that we have told you is working hand in hand with the World Economic Forum. Now, this is Sadiq Kant over at the World Economic Forum in 2021. So let's just hear, while we had Johnson's government, who were all working with the WEF, like Hancock and Johnson and Javid and Penny Mordaunt and Hunt, and all these people were all working hand in hand with the World Economic Forum. Now, as you know, remember I've told you, all these people claim to be on polar opposites of each other politically, but they're all working with the exact same people. Well, this is what Sadiq Kant had to say for himself over at the World Economic Forum in 2021 during the pandemic. Listen to this, people.
Careful, we could undo 30 years of progress made around gender equality. And Ishan, you'll hear phrases like build back better being used by not just the new president of the USA. I can actually smile when I say president of the USA now, rather than frown or be intimidated into cowering. But actually it means a new normal where we have a just recovery. And I hate using the word opportunity when it comes to a global pandemic, but Gabriella is spot on. We've got to use this horrible pandemic as an opportunity to reset and, in your words, reboot our economies across the globe. And that means not just government, but also civic society, the business community, the faith community, and others working together to address some of the inequalities we've talked about for too many years on an annual basis at Davos.
Did you hear that, people? Did you hear that? Sadiq Kant, he viewed the pandemic as an opportunity, didn't he? And did you hear him parroting their phrases like building back better and we need a reset? So when I have told you that these people are all pushing the exact same agenda, I am not making this up. I am not kidding. All of these people, all of them, they're all working hand in hand with the World Economic Forum. And guess who else? Guess who else is working with the World Economic Forum and has been for a long time? The new Health Secretary, Wes Streeting. And here he is, tweeting one of their, putting out on his own Twitter account back then, now X, tweeting reposting, should I say, World Economic Forum tweets. So you're starting to see what's going on here, people? Are you starting to see what is going on when I have told you that these people are pushing these divisive globalist agendas? I am not making this up. Wes Streeting, and Sadiq Kant, they're both members of the Fabian Society, aren't they? And for anybody that doesn't know, allegedly, The Fabian Society is a left-wing political think tank. And guess who? Guess who the Fabian Society are working with? Oh, that's right, people. They're working hand in hand with the World Economic Forum, just like we told you. And, you know, people like Klaus Schwab a few years ago, what did they have to say during the pandemic that we must prepare for?
So we have to prepare for a more angry world. And how to prepare? It means to take the necessary action to create a fairer world, to see that we provide everybody with decent access to the health system, that we make sure that those people who are really left behind, and I'm not speaking only on national levels, I'm speaking also internationally. If I see now the tragedy in some of the emerging countries like South Africa, like some countries in East Asia, I think it's all, I don't have too many remedies. The remedies have to be discussed through dialogue by the stakeholders of our global system.
Oh, so we must prepare for an angrier world, Schwab, must we? Okay, and here he is, banging on about global stakeholders. When I've told you that these people view themselves as global stakeholders, I am not kidding. You only have to go onto the World Economic Forum's website and read what it says about the Great Reset. These people want to be a manager of a global commons. And what do you people out there think that means? These people want to enact one world governance. So when I've told you before that all these people are all working hand in hand and they're all working with a WEF, I am not making this up. An angrier world, Klaus, an angrier world. These vile, despicable people have taken us into the verge of World War III. We have a proxy war going on in Ukraine. What are these people trying to do? These people are trying to take us into a nuclear Armageddon this side of Christmas. They are using our Storm Shadow missiles and firing them into Russian territory, provoking Vladimir Putin. This is what these people are doing. And what do you think Vladimir Putin's done since we've been using our Storm Shadow missiles and firing them into their territory? Yeah? Let's just have a look at what the response has been. Yeah, let's just have a look at the response that's come back from Putin. Oh, what is this about?
NATO is set to hold an emergency meeting on Tuesday after Russia tested a new intermediate-range ballistic missile on Ukraine. The new missiles have the ability to carry nuclear-capable weapons. Russian President Vladimir Putin says the launch was in response to Ukraine's recent use of long-range missiles provided by the U.S. inside his country. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie Daggett.
Did you hear that, people? Did you hear that? They are test firing long-range missiles now into Ukraine that are capable of carrying nuclear warheads. Okay? This is what is going on. And as I told you, these people are trying to take us into World War III. So, you know, when I've told you people that all these people are working together, they're all working with the World Economic Forum, pushing their divisive globalist agendas, and these people have got us on the verge of World War III. I'm not making this up, people. I am not making this up. I am deeply, deeply, deeply concerned about where on earth these people are taking us. And there's been all sorts of things going on in the UK, hasn't there? Hasn't there? I mean, we've got all sorts of, events that are going on around the UK at the moment that the media are silent about. Okay, we've had all sorts of emergencies in airports and things like that over the last week. What is going on? These people, these vile, despicable people, they want to destroy this country. And they want to take us into World War III. What on earth is going on? Okay? And you know how our despicable leader, Stalin Starmer, is quite happy to throw people for words in jail, or people that just happened to attend some of these protests that went on over the summer. Well, let me tell you what's very interesting in an article in the Times that I read, and I'll leave the links in the description. Isn't this interesting? Let me just go back over to the internet and let me show you something. So, you know how our despicable government, as I said, have actually thrown people in jail who haven't committed any violence, who just happened to be at one of these protests, Well, it's very interesting in this Times article that, what does it say here? Starmer was a legal observer at Wapping when mounted police charged demonstrators during protests against Rupert Murdoch moving his print works, which produced the Times from Fleet Street, amid the dismissal of thousands of print workers. And also, the future Labour leader also helped monitor demonstrations against Margaret Thatcher's poll tax. So, our despicable Prime Minister himself, when he was younger in the 1980s, attended protests that were violent. Okay? So he is throwing people in jail for effectively attending protests like himself in the 1980s that turned violent. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. I want to make this absolutely clear so no one can spin this. I do not approve of anybody that went out there and committed any kind of violence, okay? But it's very interesting, isn't it? It's very, very, very interesting that our despicable, vile, abhorrent Prime Minister himself attended protests that were violent during the 1980s. But I guess from his point of view, and this should tell you all you need to know, if he agrees with the cause of protests that turned violent, he's quite happy. He's quite happy for those people not to be arrested. But if anybody attends any protest that turned violent and he doesn't agree with the protest, then he is quite happy to throw these people in jail. Now that's very, very, very interesting, isn't it? Isn't it? And as I said, I'll leave the link to this Times article in the description of this video. And let's go out, have a look again at where we are on this petition that's going round, because we're now, I thought it would be on 3 million by now. We're now on 2.705,919 signatures. Now, it is very, very important, people. It is very important that we keep signing this petition. We need to get these numbers way up, way up. Although this protest is not going to cause a general election, in my opinion, it is about putting huge pressure on these people. We need to get this up above 10 million, okay? But the fact that in a few days we have 2.7 million people that have signed this should tell you how angry and upset the British people are with a government that we've literally only had a few months. Now, any government usually goes through a honeymoon period, which usually will last up to a year. These people have 2.7 million people that have signed a petition for a general election within a few months. This should tell you all you need to know, okay? All you need to know about these despicable people. And like we've told you, like we've tried to warn you all over the pandemic, all of these people, all of them that we speak about on this channel, every single damn last one of them, okay? Such as Starmer, Reeves, Kant, Johnson, Hancock, Javid, okay? Penny Mordaunt, Jeremy Hunt, all of these people, every single last one of them is working hand in hand with the World Economic Forum. Now, is it just a coincidence? Is it just a coincidence that every single one of them is working with the WEF? So when they tell you the lies that they're polar opposites apart, they're all working with the same people, and they are all pushing the exact same agendas, such as the Great Reset, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, stakeholder capitalism, the Great Narrative. Okay? Every single one of these people is pushing these agendas, like Sadiq Khan, who's pushing these agendas through every single London borough. And as I've told you before, if you're living in the great city of London, yeah, and you weren't aware that your despicable, vile, abhorrent mayor is working hand in hand with the World Economic Forum pushing these agendas, well, you do now, don't you? Because this is what Arno TV is here for. And channels like this and the new media, because the mainstream media, they aren't going to tell you this. Oh, no, they aren't going to tell you this. Do you know why? Do you know why they're not going to tell you this? Because they're all working hand in hand with the WEF as well. And they're all working with companies like BlackRock, who's in bed with our government. And as I told you the other day, if you go back and look at that video, the link that I left on that video about BlackRock, yeah, look at all the media companies that BlackRock are working hand in hand with. So is it any surprise that you don't hear anything like this in the media? Not really, because they're all working together, just like we've tried to tell you for 4 years. This is where we're at with these people, okay? This is where we're at with them. And let me tell you something else as well. Let me just go back over to the internet and back to that Times article. Let me just show you something else as well, okay? Bear with me a second. Let me find it. Where was it? Let me just find it for you. In this, there we are. So Starmer, okay, when he was a lawyer, represented protesters against the Brighton's weapons manufacturer, EDO Technology, which they accused of providing arms for Israel. Although the company denied this, the business was seeking an injunction for harassment. Starmer referred to what he called Israel's assassination policy, which was condemned throughout the world, as he argued in the High Court in 2005 that the protesters' long-term aim was to prevent what they considered to be war crimes. So again, isn't it interesting? When he was a lawyer, yeah, he was quite happy to represent protesters that he agreed with. But anybody that protests against anything that he disagrees with he wants them thrown in jail and locked up for years. Yeah? And again, let me make this absolutely 100% clear. I am not endorsing in any way whatsoever anybody that went out there and committed violence. My point here is that this man, this vile, despicable individual, is quite happy when he was quite happy as a lawyer to represent protesters when he agreed with what they were protesting about. But when it's something that he doesn't agree with, he wants them thrown in jail and is quite happy to do that. And isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting as well that this protester, and Starmer, he represented this protester in this picture, and Starmer referred to EDO technology and accused them of, what did he say here? He referred to what he called Israel's assassination policy. That's what it says in this Times article. That is what it says in this Times article. And here he is now, cozying up to a company like BlackRock, who, as we saw in that article that we read out the other day, have been accused of supplying Israel weapons that may, I emphasize the word may, I'm not going to say that it's definite, that may be involved in war atrocities. Okay? This is who these people are. Okay? They are despicable, vile, abhorrent people. Okay? So this is where we're at, people. This is where we are at the end of 2024 with these vile, despicable people. So this should show you, when I've come on here before and I've told you that all these people are working together and they're all working with a WEF. I'm not making this up. I'm not saying this for some kind of an effect. I'm not doing this for clicks and views. I'm doing this because I am deeply, deeply, deeply concerned with the state of this once great nation and what people like Keir Starmer are trying to do. Okay? Because if it's left up to these people, we will be in World War III very, very, very soon, which will be an utter disaster and will take us, it will potentially take us to nuclear Armageddon. Now, is that what people want? Is that what people want? I don't think so. So this is why it is so important to keep signing this petition. Post it everywhere. Get your friends and your family and your loved ones to sign this. It's important that we put huge, huge amounts of pressure on these vile, despicable people. Okay? So I'll leave it at that for tonight. But we'll be back soon with more videos and streams for you, as promised, about all these despicable, vile, abhorrent people that are allegedly leading this country. For now, take care. And if you like this channel as well, before I go, please make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. And as I've told you before, there's all sorts of interference that's going on in the background on this channel. So please share these videos. Please like and subscribe to this channel, and please ring the notification bell so I can inform you good people out there about future videos I'm going to be putting out and future streams I'm going to be putting out about all these people. But for now, have a great evening, and we will be back soon with more videos and streams for you.